We got
Okay.
you got beautiful audio or beautiful video. I mean,
Okay. Well, I'll walk you around. Here's our big bell. I'll walk you around. They'll be starting here in a few minutes. They're actually going to be coming from that direction, and they're going to come up here and have their speeches. So I'm giving you a heads up here. I didn't want to start too early because I'm really worried about these battery chargers.
I I think I'm gonna get somebody to wire you up. We're gonna get a lawnmower battery and put a regulator on it, and you can wear it on a side pack. It'll only weigh a couple of pounds, and
That would be cool.
it'll keep your phone charged like for 50 hours or something. And it's a like a
Oh, that'd be
motorcycle,
cool. Right about that.
yeah, like a riding lawnmower or a motorcycle battery.
Yeah. See, I can't hear you unless I put it right up to my ear.
Okay, well we'll discuss that later.
Okay. I need. Yeah. See, I even bought a new headset today, but it was at the dollar store. So what can I say? Okay.
It was probably made in
Some
China, so it can
really
only
cool
hear in
cars that we had
Chinese.
out there. These are just some people hanging around waiting on the rally. The major part of the rally will be coming from down the street. They're going to walk all the way up the main road and up here to the Capitol steps. Looks like Wayne Hoffman over there from the Idaho Freedom Foundation. Say again. Most of these are people who didn't want to make the walk. I could go over there to the statue and catch it on that
Yeah,
there on that
don't
side.
don't don't get too close to that big tower. It'll suck your battery right out.
Oh, wonderful. So I should stay here.
Yeah, I just stay there.
Okay.
We don't want to run into that again.
Oh, isn't that the truth? See, they're not going to start walking until 3:30. What time is it?
Your time it's 3:24.
Okay. We can do a couple of quick interviews, and then maybe they'll be starting.
That'll
What do you
be
think?
that'll be perfect.
I say that again.
You said it was
I,
coming down.
I said that would be perfect.
I'm talking to the guy at running the radio show. All right, Hawk. One more time.
I said that would be perfect. To talk to some people and shake some hands.
Okay. Hello, Rich.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Tell us who you're with.
Idaho Second Amendment Alliance.
Well, we are Readout News, and we're live streaming the event today on Revolution Radio.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Glad to be on radio.
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
Fantastic. We like it.
There you go. Raising funds for the group here.
Yeah, we're signing petitions right now for constitutional carry. And then as you can see, people are starting to gather here. But the main part is down at the center of the grove, and they're going to be coming up with a police escort, walking to the Capitol, and then we'll have some speakers here today. So it'll be more interesting when they get here than talking to me. But
that's all right. Would you like to send a special message to anybody?
We just hope the Idaho legislators start paying attention to the people that put them in office and pass the bills that we're asking for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to introduce you here in a minute to a group of young people.
That's so very helpful. All right, we'll see you a little bit.
guys ready?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay, we're rolling.
This is Elizabeth Harris, and she's going to tell y'all about Patriot Academy.
All right, well, Patriot Academy is the premier youth leadership academy in America today. Started about 14 years ago by Representative Rick Green in Texas. It's now in Arizona, Florida, Delaware, and Idaho. This will be the 4th year in Idaho. The Patriot Academy is going to be June 5th through the 7th, and we come here to the Capitol in Boise. We spend all day here on the House floor in the committee rooms. We listen to national and international speakers talk to us about media relations, talk to us about entrepreneurship, and talk to us about how to have a principled worldview when it comes to politics and the government's role in the everyday lives of the citizen. So it's very constitutionally based. We're very conservative. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and they really want to instill in the students that we have a responsibility to be true statesmen and representatives of our local government, not just our national government, because the local level is what the founding fathers really promoted. They wanted states to be sovereign. They wanted the federal government to protect us, not to infringe upon our rights. And that's what Patriot Academy is all about. It's teaching students to critically think about everything that they have to deal with on an everyday level. So it's not indoctrination. They are really trying to get the students to think about what they are learning, how to actually go out and pursue information instead of just hearing it secondhand and making a biased decision based on that. And it's a lot of fun. You make a lot of great friends. I've got friends all over the United States now from that. And it's just such an encouragement to find like-minded young patriots. You know, you feel like you're all alone sometimes, that people don't believe the way you do, that they don't have the conservative values that you do. But there are people here in Idaho and all over the nation that do, and it's so encouraging. And I just really encourage all the young people, 16 to 25, who want to make a difference with your life, to look into Patriot Academy. It's very intensive. You really have to step up to the plate, take on that challenge. But, you know, our generation, we can do that. We have so much potential. We have so much passion. We just have to know where to channel it.
So this takes civics class up to a whole new level.
Exactly, yeah. I like to say that this is kind of like Boys and Girls State or civics, but on steroids. So you are getting the real life experience that the legislators have on the House floor, in the committee rooms. So you're not just going through the process, you're learning the reasons behind the process. And that's what really has to be taught.
So you were elected governor for this year.
Yes, last year I served as the Speaker of the House, and the student body decided that they wanted me as their governor for this year. So I was elected governor for the Northwest Regional Patriot Academy here in Idaho.
Did you have to campaign for that?
I did have to campaign. I actually was running against one of my dear friends, and I did beat her as far as the race goes, but we're still really good friends. It's all really fun competition, and it's a great way to practice that in a friendly environment.
Come show us your booth over here. We want
All
to see
right,
some of what you've got
booth.
going.
It's kind of windy today, so we had to shore up some of the things on our booth. Here's our booth, because most of them. And this is the Patriot Academy Impact Report. It's got really good information about our mission and what Patriot Academy is all about. It's available at patriotacademy.com. These are the medals that the students receive upon graduation of the academy. The veterans place these medals on the students, place it over their heads, onto their necks, and it is symbolizing the fact that these veterans have worked for the sacrifices that we have today and for the freedoms that we have today, and it's symbolizing them passing on that torch of freedom to the next generation.
Tell us about the golf balls.
All right, you see these golf balls here? These golf balls at Patriot Academy, each student gets one, and they represent the character of the individual that holds them. So students at Patriot Academy have to hold these golf balls with them at all times during meals and everything, because it symbolizes your character. And the point is that if you lose your character, all the other decisions that you make based on you having no character, that's going to affect everything you do in life, and it's going to have bad consequences for your actions. And so when the students lose these, they have to say a character quote, or they have to sing something that we call the golf ball song, and they have to earn these back, because it's really important that you have to earn character back, and it's a lot harder to earn it back than it is to lose it. It's very easy to lose it. So those are a big part of Patriot Academy, really popular with the students, and I did lose mine. the first year about 3 times because I had one individual at Patriot Academy that just really wanted to take it away from me, make a point, but I've never lost it since, and I learned my lesson. So I think all the students can relate to that.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Hawk, that my daughter attended Patriot Academy, and I won't point her out, but I will tell you that she's in this picture.
Sweet.
And say again?
I said sweet.
Yeah, she loved it. She said she would love to attend every year that she is able. It is a program that the young people have really gotten behind, and we just need to get the word out for them. Yeah. Anything else you want to share with us?
I would just like to encourage people, even if you're not a young person, even if you're in the next generations going up toward the older folks.
Like
that
me.
that I want you to be encouraged that there's young people that are taking action, that our generation is not completely apathetic. There's a remnant of us that are trying to uphold the principles and the freedoms that have been fought so hard for. And we are here, we are working, and I want everyone to be encouraged that we are up and coming to be principled statesmen to represent everybody in the United States of America. So just be encouraged and have hope.
Well, your generation is our future, and if we can do anything to help you out, we're certainly going to do
Well,
that.
thank you for everything you've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You've done terrific. Okay, everybody wave.
I'll read that when I get to work.
You take care.
I might know some of it, but there's always something.
We're going to walk back over here and see how we're doing. Hello, Brett.
Oh, I just now got your message.
Oh, you did?
So never mind.
Okay, I have to watch out for these. I didn't lose my audio, did I, Hawk?
No, you're fine.
Okay, well, I had a notice come in, and I'm not paying attention to the notices, but when I hear it, I worry. I usually mute everything, but I was afraid it'd screw me up today.
No problem. Hopefully, isn't a notice that says your battery is dead.
Well, no, it wasn't that kind of a sound. Did I start echoing? Okay. I'm going to get a couple of nice shots of Boise here for you.
Well, hey, it is. At least it isn't in the middle of ass nowhere, minus 62 degrees.
This is true. Uh-oh, I hear the echo. We've actually got a pretty nice building, pretty nice Capitol building. Brett and I took a tour with our representative today, and you know we're gonna write that one up and do a slideshow or something. That would be easier.
How many Mason symbols did you find?
What?
I said, how many Mason symbols did you find?
I'll show you the pictures.
Cool.
I don't know. I have to ask Brett.
What?
He wants to know how many Mason symbols we found when we took our tour of the Capitol.
Mason symbols.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to have to review the pictures. I don't remember seeing any.
Okay. Have we had any word from everyone down there? Are they coming? I know they're supposed to be having a police escort.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Well, there's no press here.
We've got a bunch of press.
Well, it's 5:30 here now, so I'm assuming it's 3:30 there.
Yeah. Yeah, Boise's in mountain time. Brett set up to record the speeches on, oh, I'm recognizing people. This is not good. I haven't been doing this very long, but I've done it long enough to recognize people. This is a little odd.
Whatever you do, be careful not to conspire to commit the truth. Department of Justice might get you.
That is a problem that I have. I have to watch that. Are we getting anybody tuning in yet?
Yeah, they're starting to flow in now.
Good.
We were live at Bay City, and man, it was okay. I mean, they're doing their best, but there was almost nobody there, which really sucked. I don't know if it was their location or what.
It's pretty cold out there too. Weather does have an effect. This is a beautiful day out here. This is a gorgeous spring day. A little bit of wind. So, everybody's going to be wearing sweaters and such. But it is an absolutely beautiful day out here. I'm hoping it'll draw hundreds. On Facebook, when they promoted it, they had about 1,000 people, signing up to come. So if we can get half of it.
Maybe that's why they're running late. It's hard to get 1,000 people power moving very fast.
This is true. I'm hearing that echo again. I wonder if it's this side of the Capitol building. Maybe it's that tower again.
You're doing fine.
You should post it out there. Hey, Sherry's back. Y'all wanted Sherry to come back, right?
Yeah, we've been advertising it. I got Shinona working on it. And
cool.
everybody that is tuned in, please relink our YouTube so we can
and
let everybody know.
To Burns tomorrow. We're going to do some follow-up tomorrow in Burns.
Yeah, who else has done that? Nobody.
Well, we will be there.
Actually, who else has done that twice? Nobody.
Yeah, I know. I'm a glutton for punishment. For you and your viewers, I will do it all.
Oh, now you're having fun anyway, aren't you?
I'm having a ball. That's part of the problem.
We did.
I think Brett's having fun too.
I think we did find somebody for the New Mexico rally on the 4th. I've coined this spring.
I don't know about going to New Mexico. I don't think you can pay me enough gas money to get there and back.
No, we found somebody.
Oh, good.
The person we had headed to San Pedro at the prison protest with the Hammonds is just in gridlock in L.A. and can't get near it. So we may not be able to get the L.A. feed today, which sucks.
Well, can only do what we can do. Get more patriots out there covering this stuff. That'd be great.
I'm going to coin this American Spring. Remember Arab Spring?
Hey, there you go.
Remember how well they did by using social media and live streams to make sure everybody saw the truth instead of the mainstream media spin? Well, this is American Spring. We're working on live streamers all over the country to start covering this.
I need to get a good headset. That would be so awesome for me.
With a microphone.
Yeah, with a microphone. But Mike has decided we are in our American Spring. Yep,
that would be great.
He's coined it. We're no more Arab Spring. We're doing American Spring, where the truth is out there on live media with statistics. Okay, might as well do a very shameless plug for both stations right now. Readoutnews.com, REDOUBT, news, NEWS.com, working with Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com, And y'all know how to spell freedom, I'm sure. FREEDOM. Slips. SLIPS.com. Revolution Radio and Readout News are bringing you all the truth. How's that, Hawk?
That's awesome. And how do you spell readout?
REDOUBT.
There you go. All right, yes, and folks, Sherry is in Boise, Idaho. Man, look at people are starting to pack up.
The main group isn't even here yet. We've gotten quite a few showing up.
So what's your everyday citizen that's there got to say? Anybody want to talk?
At a pop-up. Huh?
I say, what's the average citizen floating around there have to say? If any of them will talk. You're sideways.
Are you signing precinct committeeman for all over the state?
Mainly in Canyon, but if you're from elsewhere, you can fill one out and file with the county clerk.
Cool. I think I just lost my camera. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Are we up and running?
Yeah, you're back. You went sideways.
Okay.
But you're fine now.
I know. Do you know a guy named Clinton Daniel? He's former city councilor. Talk to him about this. He's working on that project.
Precinct committeeman is probably the most important job in the government, and people don't realize that. They are the ones that are close to the people. They're the ones who go door to door and talk to the constituents. They have the ear of the people. Like I say, they are more important than anybody knows. How are you? I am great. You want to say hi to anybody? We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Can I get your first name?
Hubert.
Hubert?
Yes.
And you're here for the rally?
Yes, it's the safest place in Idaho right now.
There you go. That's true. That's true. How did you hear about the rally?
Oh, I've been emailed almost every day for 30 days.
Awesome. Are you from the Boise area? Nampa? Very cool. We should have a good turnout today, huh? Yes. Thank you for being here.
Are you in charge?
Me? No, not at all. I'm just reporting on it.
So what channel are you on?
We are with readoutnews.com. We're internet. And we are working with Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com. I have a card here, believe it or not. I'm pulling everything but my cards out. There you go. You can find us there with links to your pretty picture right there on our site.
Are you Sherry?
I am. Thank you. Let's see. We see anybody down there yet? Not yet. Not yet. They're coming, though. They'll be here.
Well underway. Honestly, I don't hold that a lot of money.
How are you? We are live streaming. Would you like to say hi? I'm good. Can I get your first name? What brought you to Idaho? Are you here for the rally today? So is that part of what brought you to Idaho?
We have the gun laws there. shot up over there. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as you legally own your gun, I think that's
Thank you for coming today.
oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, every time you see me, make sure you wave.
What's your name?
My name is Sherry. Let me give you one of my cards. I am with Readout News, and we're internet based, and we're working with Revolution Radio.
Oh, yeah.
And
I started out in this revolution.
really,
Yeah.
how cool is that?
That's really cool. Yeah.
Well, you get on our website, and you'll probably see your pretty smiling face on there. Do you need some help?
I'll sit up.
Well, you just be real careful. Don't need any accidents today.
No.
Are you here for the rally? Awesome. Are you local? Nampa? That's pretty local. Oh, there you go. That's pretty nifty little seat. Well, I am Sherry, and we're with Readout News, and we are live streaming with Revolution Radio to bring the whole internet everything. So,
I see.
wave. You're live on the internet. Good, good. Were you born and raised here? Well, how awesome. And you're here to support the Second Amendment. And how did you learn about the rally today? Facebook? See. Well, it's a beautiful day for a rally, isn't it? It is. And at least we're outside enjoying it. Well, thank you all for being here. Well, you'll see me walking around. You make sure and wave when you do.
I like that chair though.
Isn't that nifty? Got to get one of those for my mother.
All that needs is some wheels and some handlebars. She can be the Senior Bikers of America Club.
Hey, that would be cool. That would be very cool. I'm going to walk down the steps and see if I see anything happening over there. I've got to get you to say hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm having a good day, ma'am. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm dandy. I'm going to let you know who I am. I'm Readout News, and we are live streaming with Revolution Radio, and you're going to see yourself all over the internet.
That's good.
So did you make your outfit?
Yeah. I sew. I'm part of the Idaho Colonial Society. I do historic reenactment, different periods, but I started a club like to do reenactment education. So I go in schools and talk about different, like our club starts from 1490 and goes with the signing of the Constitution in 1787. But most of the people start in the Rev War, and then just kind of whoever wants to work back and do other time periods do that too. So.
Really? Do you do it mostly here in the Boise area?
Yeah, we have about 25 people in the greater Boise area, and we have about 50 around the whole state of Idaho. So yeah, we're just, like I said, trying to grow and get out there and do.
Send me some information to my email address on there, and we'll put it up.
Yeah.
Send me an article, anything.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
Awesome. Get it out there for you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
And if you have anybody up in the North Idaho area.
Yeah, we have some people in Coeur d'Alene and that area, the Rathdrum.
Yeah, we cover all that area up there. We don't get down here as often as we want to, but we try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great frontier up there. We have like a few people in eastern Idaho, and so yeah.
Very cool. We'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You bet. We're glad that you're here too.
Yeah, howdy.
I think they're coming. I see some police lights down there. And I know they're supposed to have the police escort. So I think we're getting ready for a crowd. I'm going to walk up to the steps and see if I can get a better shot up there. I hate walking these steps. I only do it for you. Ah, there they are. Can you see it all right there, Hawk?
Yep, looks great. We have the defensive position now.
I'm going to go down there and get some close-ups as they come around the corner. They got their hundreds. Look how nice and peaceful these people are. I'd be hooping and hollering if I was in there.
All right, hey!
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna have one.
Yeah.
That's that bill I was telling you about. I don't know. I've lost.
They're still coming. I'm going to try and make my way in through this crowd and get up there and get a good picture of the whole crowd here.
Hello? Move on up closer if you want. They're supposed to keep the streets blocked off, so you're okay if you're out there. Thank you all 10 people for coming.
We'll get it through this year.
Hopefully.
Is Russ Bolger here? Larry Pratt? We're going to get started here in a second. So, hey. If not, it's going to be a lot of short speakers. Maybe 2 people, maybe some of you would like to speak. I imagine that, yes. I see a lot of people clinging to their guns here, huh? Yeah. Oh, louder? Okay. Who am I? Yeah. I'm Kevin Miller. And I'm blessed to be here in front of all of you. And before we get started, this is indescribable what we see here, and I would please ask you all to put this on your social media and spread the word. It's great that we have the television stations here. We have 580 KIDO here, but you are the most powerful motivator of spreading the word about keeping the Second Amendment alive and vibrant here in the state of Idaho. If it happens, it's going to be because of you. And when Greg tells me to start introducing people, I will. Until then, I just want to marvel at how this movement started with this man, Greg Pruitt, and a few of his friends outside of Boise Gun Company saying, I want to make sure that my family, my wife, my kids are protected, and I'm going to be out in the snow all by myself without any media, without any politicians, without any support at all, gathering 1,000, and then 2,000, and then 3,000 signatures. And he said, surely with 3,000 signatures, somebody, a state representative, a state senator, will pass permitless carry, constitutional carry. And I mean, we're Idaho, not California, right? How many years ago was that, Greg? 4 years ago, and that movement has grown from a few people outside of Boise Gun Company to what we see here today. And it's going to take all of you sacrificing your time, your effort, your energy, coming out here, calling to get it right. You are the movement. You are the movement. So we'll get started in 2 seconds. And in Idaho and in America, we start with the prayer. Joining us now from Canyon County, Zach Brooks, to lead us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this wonderful day that you have given us. Thank you for this beautiful weather and all the people that have been able to come out and join us. Lord, I pray that you would just have your hand upon this gathering. Please bless the speakers. We thank you that Larry and Russ and everyone else that's going to speak today have been able to make it, Lord. I pray that you would keep your hand upon them and encamp guardian angels around them and protect them as they travel, Lord. I want to thank you for Greg and what his organization has done, Lord. I pray that you would bless him and bless his family, Lord. I know this isn't an easy deal to put together and it can be stressful and take a lot of work, Lord. I just pray that you would keep your hand upon us, and we just thank you for it very much. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Zach. We appreciate that. And as we said, the gentleman who I'm about to introduce, I'm sure he would rather be doing other things. I'm sure he'd rather hang out with his beautiful family. But when he saw the need to allow everyone in the state of Idaho to carry without government sanction, without government interference, he said, enough. I dedicate myself to this organization. And by far, it's surely not about him, but without him, I don't know where we'd be. So it's my privilege, my honor to introduce the president of the Idaho Second Amendment Association, our great friend, Greg Pruitt.
I don't know if I deserve all that, but thank you, Kevin. Can everybody hear me okay back there? All right. We really appreciate all the work that Kevin's done for us. My good friend Eric Macrush took me into Kevin 4 years ago, and we sat down in his studio, and ever since then, every time I need to come on and tell the people of Idaho what's going on with their gun rights, Kevin's right there every single time letting me come on. So big round of applause for Kevin Miller. Thank you. We want to give a big round of applause for the Boise Police Department for providing security for us today. Thank you. I'm also grateful. Where's all my people from Southeast Idaho? Where you at? All right, look at that. What about my Northern Idaho residents? All right. So that's incredible that they've taken the time, and everybody knows in Idaho in February, it's a real gamble whether or not you're going to make it up here and make it back home. So God bless them, and thank you guys all for coming up. Thank you. We also want to thank our guest speakers, one of whom I think is still missing. Is he here? Okay, he's here. Oh, there he is. All right. And also, another big thanks to our attorney, Alexandria Kincaid. I don't know where she is. I know she's running around here somewhere. Without her, we'd be in a lot of trouble. She keeps us on track and makes sure everything we're doing is legitimate. So thank you. And if you have a chance, buy her book. She didn't want to come here and sell her books. I told her to because it's an excellent book. So anyway, I'm plugging her book for her. It's called Infringed. Yep, we'll get the info later. Last but not least, Kevin says this is all about me, but honestly, the one person that I couldn't have done any of this without, and that none of this would be possible, is my wife, Kristen. Thank you to her. There are many nights where she lays awake and I'm up late doing stuff and she's stuffing envelopes with me. So big thank you to her. To make sure that everyone understands, I am not a Mormon missionary. Okay? I was a long time ago, but when I went to Southeast Idaho, I went and visited my brother in his bar after the rally down there. And nothing kills anything more in a bar than either a Mormon or they thought I was a police officer. So just wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Again, if you don't have the petition should be going around. If you haven't signed the petition for constitutional carry, now's the time to do it. We have a bucket over there of 8,000 signatures that we've gathered in a very short amount of time for people that want to see permitless carry. Do we have that yet? So are we being ignored?
Yes!
You're absolutely right, we are. So please make sure to get that petition signed. I don't know how many we got to get before they'll start listening. Okay? Constitutional carry. We've been fighting for years. 7 states now have it. 7 states, including the great state of Maine. The Maine House is controlled by Democrats. Okay? So this is not a Republican issue. This is not a Democrat issue. It's not a libertarian issue. This is an American issue. We've got to get back to what the Second Amendment said that we can do, and that is shall not be infringed. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm sick and tired of watching Idaho fall behind on gun rights, among other things, especially on gun rights. That's why we started this organization. I was sick and tired of seeing other states pass these laws before us. If it's good enough for Maine, it's got to be good enough for Idaho. Bottom line. So everybody remembers last year we had House Bill 89, which was blocked by the leadership in this building right here. They wouldn't let it go anywhere. Everybody happy with that decision? No! Little frustrated, little angry?
Yes!
Well, here we are. We are 41 days since the session started. Where are we? Have we had a public hearing yet?
No!
So we're still being ignored.
Yes!
Right now, the bill that we chose to support that is the closest version of permitless carry is House Bill 422. Okay? But there needs to be one small amendment made to that bill that we would like to see, and then it's good to go. That bill, since February 1st, is sitting in the House Ways and Means Committee. So if you have not yet contacted Chairman Christy Perry, she's the one that has the bill. That's the person you need to email and respectfully request a public hearing on this bill. It has been long enough. 4 years. I'm tired. 4 years is a long time to wait for a public hearing in a state-controlled 80% in both chambers by Republicans, and we have a Republican governor. Okay? It is absolutely shameful that we have not had a public hearing yet. But let me tell you right now, there are some other bills going on here in Idaho. There is a compensation for damage to beehives by bears bill. That's important. Okay? They're looking at increasing the fines for seatbelt violations, banning cell phone use while driving completely. There are 59 education bills. Now, I'm not opposed to education, but what is going on here? All I see is a bunch of taxes, increased taxes on this, increased taxes on that. How about we remove the tax for you to carry your firearm however you see fit? How about that? Kevin's right. We can't do this without you. I can only do so much. They need to hear from you from their own districts. Is there anybody here that happens to be from, I don't know, Speaker Bedke's district? Anybody? No? That's a pretty rural district. That's all right. The one thing that seems to be the biggest problem here in the state, and they're all going to disagree with me, but I know you guys will agree, is this dang secret gun committee. This thing's got to go. Yeah. It's got to go. We don't need to have committees killing gun bills in the back so they can put cover for Republicans that don't want to vote for real gun bills. That's really what this thing is about. And it's got to go. This secret gun committee is no good. You don't deserve to have gun bills that you want to have heard killed behind closed doors. That's D.C. politics, not Idaho politics. Yeah. Before I forget, the drone up there is our drone. I promise you that is not a government drone. Please don't shoot it down. But we're really excited that you guys all came out here. This is really, truly humbling. God gives me the strength every day to keep going. There are so many days when I just go, man, what do we have to do to win? What do we finally have to do to win? And it's you guys coming out here. It's the emails, the phone calls, all the letters that we get all the time that really keep us going. So we really appreciate everything you guys have done for us. Again, we want to welcome our next guest speakers. Kevin's going to be introducing them. But thank you so much for coming out, supporting your gun rights. And let's make 2016, let's make Idaho the next state to get permitless carry. Thank you.
And again, that movement grew from just one man wanting to make sure that the Constitution applied to the reddest of the red states. Our next guest is a man who works behind the scenes, a young man who has dedicated himself to freedom, who talks to the politicians, who lobbies the politicians, and when they know Wayne Hoffman's calling, they pay attention. He's with the Idaho Freedom Foundation, the Idaho Reporter, and when you hear stories on the news or on the radio about waste, fraud, abuse, secret committees, it's because Wayne Hoffman does the investigating with his fine staff. He and Greg have come together with Alexandra Kincaid to try and figure this thing out. But to figure out the Byzantium that is Idaho government, it takes a very special individual to do so, a great champion of liberty and freedom, our friend Wayne Hoffman from the Idaho Freedom Foundation, everyone.
And I brought my dog, too. This is Lando. There's more freedom in his right paw than there is in a lot of legislators in that building behind us. I got to tell you, it is so, I have to repeat what Greg said. It's very important. You have no idea. My staff and I spend a lot of time at the Capitol, and we find ourselves beating our head against the wall a lot. Because you think that conservative principles would carry the day in the state legislature that's 80% Republican, but it doesn't. And there are times when I leave and I'm walking back to my car and I feel, man, it can't get any worse than this. And then one of our friends, one of our supporters will call or email or text and tell us we're doing a great job and how important it is for us to be at the Capitol each and every day. And God bless you. That really makes a huge difference, and it really helps keep us motivated to keep working and fighting the fight for liberty. I have to tell you, with regard to gun rights in particular, a lot of folks don't know this, but my parents are from Brooklyn, New York. They're liberals. In fact, I was just talking to my mom a little while ago, and she said that they had just gotten done voting. They live in Arkansas, and they had just gotten done voting absentee for Bernie Sanders. But we cherished growing up our gun rights. This is not about liberal or conservative. This is about the right to defend one's family. And there were guns in our house, in our cars, all the time. And that's just how we grew up. We lived in the middle of nowhere, very, very rural areas of Arkansas and Florida. And if you saw a snake, a rattlesnake, or a cottonmouth, or an alligator,
Crap. Lost the audio. Mute button.
Before innocent is defined in the law by the government. All of this stuff we try to fight, and we try to promote conservative solutions.
Yeah, fixed.
Every day we fight bills that grow government, that remove people's rights in small ways, even those bills that have the best of intentions. You know, contrary to popular belief, there's not legislation back there to develop a clone army like in Star Wars. So, you know, it's very clever. Usually, oh, my goodness. Lando's very excited about that too. So, what we're trying to do, he was so good until just now. What we're looking for is a legislature that will not grow the entitlement state, will not regulate businesses, will not regulate behavior, create new classes of crimes, and bow down to the whims of the people in Washington, D.C. And what we're also looking for are bills that shrink government, leave people alone, and let them live their lives. Idaho is considered to be one of the most conservative states in the country. This is a state where, more than anything, if we want to live free, be free of government overreach and intervention, we ought to be able to do it here, by golly, here. We can live anywhere else in the country. We have chosen to raise our families and run our businesses and live our lives in this state. This state should be the emblem of freedom at all levels of government. So, possessing a gun, putting it on your hip, putting a coat over it, putting it in your glove box like my family used to do when I was little, doesn't harm anyone, and in fact protects us from harm. And why should the politicians of the state of Idaho deny us that privilege? You know, we're inundated right now. It's a presidential election year, and so there's all these debates, all these comments about national politics. But right here in this building behind us, this is where freedom should reside. And if we don't have it, then you have to ask, what is wrong in that building behind us? And what can we do to fix it? It takes all of us to hold those folks accountable if we're ever going to get permitless carry and the restoration of our freedoms in the state of Idaho. But I think there's something more. Everyone looks at Idaho. In fact, I get phone calls from reporters all over the state, and they'll ask me about some legislation that's pending. And sometimes I get calls from reporters in other parts of the country, and they'll say, well, that's a very liberal bill. It certainly wouldn't pass in a state like Idaho, would it? And I'd say, well, what makes you think that? And they'll say, well, because your legislature is so conservative. And I'll say, well, what makes you think that? And they'll say, well, it's mostly Republican. I say, well, that's true. But that doesn't mean it's mostly conservative. It's very Republican, but beyond that, it's not very conservative. But here's the deal. Here in this modern era, the 21st century, with all these proposals out there to expand government, to find new ways to control our lives, to have the federal government decide for us how we live, what we do, the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we breathe. all that stuff being handed to us by government officials who believe in the nanny state. We need a state that leads out, that's different from all the rest, that says freedom and liberty is more important and more precious than any other principle known to man. That's Idaho. And if Idaho can't pass permitless carry, other states will look and say, well, we can't either. There are other states, other politicians, other legislatures, other city councils, other county commissions who are looking to Idaho to lead the way, not just on gun rights, but on health care, on education, on criminal justice. Idaho should be superior to every state in the country, a state that embodies freedom, promotes freedom, and says, by golly, we're never, ever going to abandon the principles that made our country great. Greg mentioned before the super secret gun committee. I've been around this building for 20 years. And so I talk about the secret gun committee, and I have legislators, oh, it's not secret. I say, well, who are the members? Well, we can't tell you. Well, let's see some committee minutes. We don't have them. Why don't you put a notice up on a door that says there's going to be a hearing and let people come so we can air the issues and stop dilly-dallying around it so that you can prevent yourself from having to go back to your constituents and say that you support gun rights. Yeah, Lando agrees, and that's why he's barking. Look, this is the year we can do permitless carry. We're going to keep banging on the door, demanding action from our legislators. We're going to see to it that we get a hearing for our legislation. If we don't, we'll make sure that our voices are heard at the ballot box. This is the year. Let's get it done. Thank you so much for coming out today. God bless you, and thank you for supporting constitutional carry.
Real quick, I forgot to mention that right after we're done, we want to get everybody up on the steps, if you're able, for a good picture from across the street so the media can report the 24 people that showed up here today. And so please, right after we're done, let's tell everybody get up here and get a picture. I think Wayne's dog must have saw Speaker Becky and frustrated his anger at him or something. I don't know. So anyway, thank you.
Okay, we continue on. A question for all of you. Can we trust politicians? No! Uh-oh. Russ, I don't think this is good for you. Is there an honest politician in America? Yes! Okay. Let me just stick. Hold on. Yes, Hillary Clinton is not here. Don't worry about it. Before I get too distracted here, let me just say there is an honest politician who understands the meaning of public service. Remember when we used to respect elected officials because they represented our interest and not the interest of the big money, the special interest, and the lobbyists that have their own agenda that hurt very families that are here in the Gem State, right? Well, let me just get to this next man that has, just like Greg, just like Wayne, has a great life, a wonderful family, an incredible business, and he decided Idaho needed a conservative direction. And at personal, professional expense, he took on the most powerful political person the state of Idaho has ever known. And you responded to his conservative message. And he continues to rally the troops. He continues to champion the Second Amendment. He continues to work for you, our great champion, Russ Fulcher.
I'll tell you what, I am excited to be here, and I am comforted with the knowledge
But if I was, I'm going to pick this up here. Is that better? I am excited to be here, and I am comforted with the knowledge that if my name was Hillary Clinton, none of you would be here. A few weeks ago, I was at let's call it a black tie event, and this fellow came up to me and he says, "Hey, Fulcher, I hear you're going to go talk to some gun rally in February. Is that right?" And I said, "Well, I actually think it's more of a constitutional rights rally, but as a matter of fact, yes, I am." And he says, "Well, you know what? You need to be careful because if you're going to be running for office again someday, you got to be careful with who you hang out with, and there's some questionable characters there." And that was the perfect opportunity for me, of course, in which I could respond and say, "Well, listen, if I was too concerned about hanging with questionable characters, I would not be here with you." Okay? So let me just be very clear and say to you, I am honored to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Greg, and I'm honored to be here with all of you. So today we're here to bring attention to a constitutional right. In this case, it's the Second Amendment right. More and more, our government and our media continues to try to convince us that citizen access to firearms is a problem, and it's the cause of so many tragedies, that the availability of firearms is detrimental to public safety, and that we just need to be sensible and trust government to protect us. Okay, so let me get this straight. This is the same government that's passing down to our kids and allowing the pass down of our kids and our grandkids some 19 trillion in debt and counting. This is the same government that is promoting an open border policy that basically is same thing as an open welfare policy. This is the same government that is even refusing in some situations to even acknowledge there's a thing called Islamic terrorism. In fact, they've allowed a nation of Iran, the #1 sponsor of worldwide terror, the ingredients to have a nuclear weapon, plus some $100 billion. And they expect us to trust them for our personal protection? No! So forgive me for being just a tad skeptical, but my friends, show me anywhere in history where there has been a disarmed citizenry where it works out well for that citizenry. Never has. Never has. Now, I realize that we're here focusing on permitless carry, not ownership rights in general, but make no mistake, a permit is a restriction. And that restriction, that permit, is also a monitoring tool. You ever notice that these well-publicized shootings that you see on the news always seem to happen in the no-gun safe zone? So look around at the folks standing around you. What do you think the chances are that we would have a shooting here today? Folks, we might be in the safest place in Idaho, right here. Right here. And that's because the dirtbags, as Larry accurately refers to them, the dirtbags are cowards, okay? And just the knowledge that maybe, just maybe, one of you might be carrying a weapon, maybe, well, that improves safety because they're thinking twice, all right? Now, unfortunately, the state of Idaho, we're not leading like we should be leading. Some of our leadership has bought into this moderate mindset. They're believing the media, they're seeing the controversy, and they just don't want to confront it. It's a leadership issue at the end of the day. It's just that simple. There's more of us than there are of them, but yet they believe in that moderation that the media is preaching. I do want to, I saw someone when I was walking in, I want to point out, Ryan Davidson is right over here. If you want to be involved in some of the political precinct committee activities to try to improve that leadership, he's over there at that table. Look him up before you leave, okay? But I wanted to give him a quick plug. So with that, I'm going to wind things down and just say, look, I want to encourage and I want to thank Greg Pruitt. Greg has given his time, his money, and countless hours in defending the state of Idaho, and he's making a difference, folks. He's making a difference. There's proof that one person can make a difference. Greg, thank you. You're a patriot. I want to encourage and thank Wayne Hoffman. Not so much Lando, but Wayne. Wayne is an incredibly influential person in this building and all across Idaho. He's got an incredible voice for conservatism. Wayne is a patriot. Thank you, Wayne. You haven't heard Larry Pratt yet, but you're about to. I want to thank Larry for his work. He's dedicated a lot of his professional life to defending freedom. You're going to hear that in a moment. Wayne, Larry, you're a patriot. Thank you. And Kevin Miller gives us an alternative to the mainstream media on 580 KIDO. Kevin, you're a patriot. Most importantly, I want to thank you, Idahoans, Americans, patriots. You're here on a windy Saturday because you care. You see and you feel the evidence that your government has forgotten. It was created to serve the people, not the other way around. I encourage you to stand firm and hold your head high. You are doing so with the knowledge that you're defending that foundational premise for the freedom, the liberty, and the security that created these United States. That freedom, liberty, and security that our forefathers died to obtain and to maintain. I want to encourage you there. And lastly, I'll close with this. Always remember, appropriate gun control means use two hands. All right? And don't trust a government with a weapon if it won't trust you with one. God bless you. How about a hand for Governor Fulcher? Yeah. And we love all the signs, and I just thought this was really good. If we could just all take a look at what this gentleman has here. I don't need a permit to exercise a right. That's what it's about. Good job, sir. And everyone who is, well, he's a good brother-in-law. All right. You know, before we get to Larry, just one more thing. There seems to be a disconnect between the politicians and the people. You know, when we talk on the radio all the time, people say, well, you can't have people having guns without training. And I said, well, we did pretty good against England. We did pretty good against all the violence that happens. What is the lone deterrent when we have a school shooting, God forbid, or we have a violent act in a mall, when you have someone who exercises their right to protect themselves and takes down the perpetrator? Who do you trust, the government or you? You! And that's what they just don't get. They don't understand that there's nothing wrong with someone walking around with their AK, their 45, their M16 here in the state of Idaho, right? And there is one man who has championed this battle across the country, whether it's in presidential politics, whether it's fighting state legislators, all for the right to keep and bear arms. That is Larry Pratt, Executive Director Emeritus, Gun Owners of America, everyone.
Idaho.
Hello.
Really appreciate seeing so many people here. This issue is one that has roots that are not politically correct to talk about. And I've got a picture of it, actually a reproduction of a piece of art on the wall in my office that I look at sitting in my desk. And it depicts some Puritans, and you can recognize them right away from their garb, on their way to church, obviously, because the men are carrying Bibles under one arm, and they've got their muskets on with the other arm over a shoulder. And there, it seems to me, in that picture, is the foundation of our liberty: guns and Bibles, all in one place. Oh, I know that so many of you have been on pins and needles for this announcement. Hillary Clinton has won the Nevada caucus. So,
No surprise.
Hooray. Yes, I'll convey your wishes.
Well, got to have some news one way or
Isn't it
the other.
interesting that a right, even enunciated and protected in the Bill of Rights, thinking of the Second Amendment, for some reason has become one that needs permits, whereas it would be quite outrageous if the media were to be subjected to the same procedure that we are. I think everybody here would stand with them against any kind of registration, any kind of permits on the prior permission for the exercise of their right. But somehow the Second Amendment is supposed to be different. Well, people can get killed with guns. Yeah, and what about Hitler's speeches? Were they just vanilla? Nothing happened because of what he was preaching? I don't think so. No, I think the way we combat evil is by us being able to have effective means, and certainly asking the very people for which we have a Second Amendment to protect us from the government, somehow they're going to determine whether or not we can have a gun and whether we can carry it and under what circumstances. You know, that's only a difference in degree from what was happening in other dictatorships and totalitarian countries, and we shouldn't stand for it. And we should tell, well, not me because I don't live here, but you all should tell the folks inside that they don't make Idaho look good when they're behaving like San Francisco or New York City. It's really kind of embarrassing. The point's already been made that Idaho should be leading. Well, Idaho should be leading. And hopefully that won't be too long in coming, and you can take your proper place in the leadership of the freedom movement in this country, which, if you count Montana, which says that you can carry without a permit in all the unincorporated areas of the state, which is almost all of the state, then there are actually 8 states where there is constitutional carry. So this is something that has been building, and when Maine is the most recent state to get added to the list, and Idaho still hasn't taken action, seems to me like there's a problem inside there, Houston. You know, part of this control mentality is, if I could talk about something that bothers us a lot in Washington, is this whole idea of the background check. And somehow that's going to keep us safe. And the powers that be were trying to expand it, as you may recall, after Sandy Hook, and that somehow a guy that murders his mother to get her guns is going to be stopped by a background check. But that's the way so many people think who advocate gun control.
if I can use the word think in that context. The fact of the matter is that background checks apply to me selling my 38 to my next door neighbor, but apparently they don't apply to the federal government selling 50 cows to the Mexican cartel. Something seems wrong to me. I'm just saying. Isn't it interesting that in the last 10 years, probably more if we wanted to look at the data, but in the last 10 years, thanks to Dr. Lott, the violent crime rate has gone down almost in half. And meanwhile, you and I have been buying twice as many guns per capita as in the previous time before all this was happening. So gun ownership per capita is going up, even while violent crime is going down. Who would have thought?
Thank you, Obama.
Now, you know, there's such an animus to regular folks carrying a weapon, particularly a concealed firearm. You may recall, and at least I haven't been able to find out the name of the individual involved, but an Uber driver in Chicago, I almost said Washington, it's about the same difference. An Uber driver in Chicago was going somewhere, and he happened to see a guy pull a gun and start to shoot into a crowd of people. The driver stopped his car, got out, and put 3 into the bad guy. Now, that's a concealed carry. The cops got there, but sometime after, which is not a knock on the cops. That's just a statement of fact that bad guys don't usually wait for the cops to get there before they start doing their bad stuff. And that's why it's so important for folks like us to be able to be there with the right stuff at the right time. We're the first responders. Are we going to be armed when we respond, or is our first response going to be something like this? Then just recently, a foreigner did a rule Sarter in Warren, Michigan, up in that Detroit area, was going about his business, and he saw this chap knife repeatedly some woman. He got out and took appropriate action with his concealed carry firearm and stopped the crime, you might say, dead in its tracks. Now, those are just 2 recent examples of the advantage of people carrying a firearm. And in these cases, it was a concealed firearm. They had permits. It wasn't permitless carry, but imagine how much we can multiply that if the animus against carrying concealed is removed and people realize that the government so sanctions it that there's no permit required. Just like I don't have to have a permit to take a breath, at least not yet. So I think we've got a very strong case. Bad stuff happens when people are not armed. A lot less bad stuff happens when good guys are armed. We've got a very powerful message. And hopefully, if it doesn't seem reasonable to the folks inside, I suppose this is probably an election year here in Idaho. And maybe there's still time to get folks into these Republican primaries. You know, we ought to be very thankful for reminding us how important primaries can be. A college professor of economics decided he'd had enough of Eric Cantor, who was just not honest. He said how conservative he was as the number 2 Republican in the House of Representatives in Washington, and it was just au contraire. He was pushing liberal stuff, big spending stuff, gun control all the time. So David Bratt published what Eric Cantor said he was for, and then chapter and verse from the congressional record of what he actually did. Bills he introduced, votes that he had cast, and so forth. Well, when he circulated that around the district, he only spent around $150,000 against Eric Cantor's $10 million. He beat him like a drum. Beat him like a drum. And I'll bet you there's some drums inside that are just waiting to be beaten. Because they don't seem to be with the beat just yet. So maybe it's time in your primaries that these folks get a message that you're really serious about the Second Amendment. And if they don't get serious about it, they can go reflect upon it in private life. I wish you well. Thanks very much.
Well, I'm going to attribute this joke to Greg Pruitt, but he wanted me to pass this along. We've all been here. We're all armed, and yet the guns haven't jumped out of their holsters and armed anybody. Hallelujah. All right, folks. We'd all like you to come up here and hang out with your Second Amendment brothers and sisters to take a photo for the NSA shot. Yes, and then we already have a few copies, but this is the group shot, everybody.
Hey, Sherry, you still got a drone overhead?
Come on up if you can. Be safe doing it, please. Don't fall down the stairs. Yeah, in front of the bell everywhere. Just all up here so we can get a good picture the other side.
Hey, Sherry, you still got that drone overhead?
Does selfie sticks work?
Huh?
Does selfie sticks work?
Oh, yeah. I don't use it for myself. I use it for this stuff.
Hey, Sherry. Sherry, can you hear me? Sherry, can you hear me?
That's a nice crowd.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Give me an estimate, Hawk. How many you think was there? Five?
500.
I'd say at least that.
And that's an uneducated guess. It's just my guess.
You have inside the petition.
Yes, I did.
Where?
She went walking that way.
I want to find her. Help me find her. We'll get a great interview here in a second, if I can find her. I think it's more than that.
We'll have thousands more next year. Amen. Amen. Or, I mean, or at least a couple.
Patrick! Well, let's see what I can do.
There's Derek.
Excuse me.
No relation to the crazy man.
No. I knew that. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here and just showing some support.
You don't get this for not doing it.
You did the real service.
Yeah,
My
thank you for
service
your
is with pen and ink.
I know, but it's because of people like you and these people here that are going to get it done. There just needs to be more of us. You bet.
coming out. Hope you vote for governor again. Absolutely.
That's encouraging.
Disappointed with the last primary.
Well, we were close.
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
Yeah, you're welcome, Russ. Have a good day.
Thank you for showing support.
Bill, it's Rory. Me and my wife here just moved out from New Jersey. So we're looking forward to fighting.
And I have the same tie. The exact same tie.
I'm looking forward to voting for you and others, right?
All right, hey, Russ. We want to see you as governor.
I remember you.
Woody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We want to see you as governor. The problem is building consistently is Martin Davis. Everybody knows that. Over and over and over.
How are you doing?
He always plays this story about the show. And all case is going held hostage for year after year after year with Martin Davis.
How are you doing?
I talked to Monty Pierce this morning. It's a good guy. We miss you guys. You got to be governor. That's all. We're doing anything we can for you. God bless.
Hello, Russ.
I thought you just see your actual face instead of just reading. You know, you have to tell too bad. We'll see ya.
Hello, Russ. How are ya?
Good. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being here.
Come on, we keep running into each other.
I know. We're hanging with that same right-wing wacko crowd.
That's it. That's it.
I like being a wacko.
You're on live. Tell the internet that you're going to run for governor again.
Well, I'm not sure I can make that kind of announcement, but I appreciate you being here. And thanks for your encouragement. Okay, so see you. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
I got it. Let me make sure I got it.
Here today.
I'll text you because I got prep. Because I have yours. I had it as 1:30, so I'm probably gonna change it. Because I do not have the right one.
Just dial yours. It's 208, right? What's yours?
208 405.
No, we're not going to. I hope we cut that one out. Did we?
It came up.
I already had you in there.
Okay.
You want to get Larry?
I want to get you first.
Oh, picture time.
And we've got Heather Scott with us. She was not a speaker. She was in the crowd supporting her constituent.
Yes, I was. It's great to be on the other side for once and not speak.
Yes, it was. And
Although
you.
I didn't appreciate those comments about politicians. There are pretty good ones out there.
Yes, there are. And you stand with Russ on that, huh? Do you think we're going to get constitutional carry this year?
I think this is the year. If we don't get it this year, I just can't imagine. This is the year. This has got to be the year.
Well, we are glad to see you out here with the crowd. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that good?
That's great.
Okay. What's that? Oh, shoot. I don't do very good on live.
You did great.
All right.
How's the selfie stick work?
It works great. What do you think? We're live right now. Tell us, what do you think about today?
I think it was a lot more than a couple dozen holdouts at the Capitol.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You know, we still have several hundred here, and a lot of them left.
Well, and
You think we topped 1,000 today?
I'll bet we got close.
I think we did.
I think we got close. I don't know if we topped it, but we got real close.
That's good to see it too, wasn't it?
Which is nice to see it turn out like that. I was here last year.
Yeah.
My family, my kids right down there. My son's even carrying today. My oldest.
Very cool. Can we get your first name?
John.
Hello, John. Are you local?
Yes. I follow you.
Well, I am Sherry, and I've got a card here for you.
All right.
I'm with Readout News, and we're streaming it live with Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com. You'll be able to find us and find them through the website there.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. And
I got it.
I really appreciate you being here today. We need more people like you. We've got a bunch today, but we just need to double that one next year.
Well, before he started his group, I had one of the earlier groups too. I took it as far as I could, and then it turned into Idaho from there. I had Idaho Citizens Defense League.
Can we say hello, sir?
Hello, indeed.
My name is Sherry. I'm with Readout News, and we are live streaming. I'm going to give you one of my cards so you can find us all the time. I have them here. I'm fumble fingers. That's us. We want to thank you for coming today.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, it was a great turnout, wasn't it?
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah. Are you seeing this kind of turnout around the country?
People are more and more engaged. I think we have some reason to be hopeful, encouraged.
Yeah. What other states do we need to be looking at right now?
Well, we only got 8, so now let's see. If the president's right, then that would leave 39 more.
That's a lot, man. That's right. Well, thank you very much. We really do appreciate you coming out and supporting everybody here today.
Well, it's just a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you again. You take care.
You too. Thank you.
How are we doing? My battery is getting low, so I'm not sure how much longer I can go. But I will come down here and have Brett check things out and see how we're doing on his end. Where'd he go? I lost him. We had some great people here today. Larry Pratt from Gun Owners of America was the one we just spoke with. We spoke with Russ Fulcher. He ran for governor here. We got an interview with him last week up in Bonner County. I think he remembers us and he likes us. You know, patriots have to stick together. You still there, Huck?
Hold on a minute, Sherry. Hold on. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Say again?
Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. My battery is almost dead. I'm looking for Brett and I can't find him.
All right, yeah, sorry, I was on the phone that funds you getting around the country with that person. I didn't want to get off the phone for the moment.
No worries. I just, didn't want to think that I had lost you and couldn't tell.
No, I was in the kitchen out of the, because I got this going and the and the kids in the house, and I was like, holy crap, where am I going to hide?
Pretty good, thank you. How are you? I am sorry. I didn't know you didn't want to be on.
Not now, because I have some information that will help you.
Okay, well, let me turn this off and
Sure,
I'll.
go ahead, take a second. Just something I want to share with you.
Absolutely. Hey, Hawk, like I say, my battery is dying.
Okay.
And sign up and find Brett to get his going.
All right, that's fine.
After that.
All right, I got it.